welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I am your host, Christine Innes. I am delighted to have the very amazing and talented RG joining us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited about the conversation because you live life to the fullest pretty much, and I love that and following your passion. And before I get carried away, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself to the audience, and then we're going to have a really amazing, captivating conversation today.
Awesome.
So let us know a little bit about you, like where you started, how you came up with your business, and then we'll dive into some amazing conversation.
Awesome. So definitely. So basically, born and raised in the Philippines. Before I hit my 18th birthday, parents decided to bring us to the US. And then, landed the opportunity and all that good stuff. Comparing to the Philippines, that's, like poverty and all that stuff. So this is like a great place to be. And then basically finished my college, joined the Navy. While in the Navy, I was deployed my first duty station. My grandmother passed away. And then I just felt stuck being in the middle of the ocean and just being focused on my naval career. So I said, all right, well, I want to do something else, which is something I'm passionate about. And it just happens to be about marketing, psychology, and IT stuff. So I built my digital marketing agency. And then, like years later, lots of success and failures around it. And pretty much it also, like, while we're serving clients, it also helped me build skills that allowed me to help my wife quit her 9 to 5 job and then build her second business. So pretty cool.
Yeah, look, I love it. I love it so much. When you look back on sort of like the Navy career, were there elements that actually has like given you these gifts to be able to help you run a business as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think if I wasn't in the Navy, I probably would have just focused on, like, being a civilian and just not really having that rigid discipline mentality. Because I mean, like, that's like one of the things that they teach you just as soon as you enter boot camp. They pretty much yell at you the entire time you're there. It's just part of the training. And then they kind of like brainwash you to get off that civilian lifestyle out of you and then get you into that military mindset. So basically, you will learn how to be a team player. You're going to learn how to be disciplined, and just be consistent and just really just push through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about like obviously, coming out of that sort of rigid sort of process that you went through? What are some of the things that you've learned going into then business? Like, so sometimes we have to sort of be in flow and we have to adapt quite quickly. We don't have a lot of, like, we have systems and processes as such, but, we have to really think quickly on our feet.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's funny because you mentioned that, and like a lot of us, like, we think that, like, we had to, like, really, like, adapt fast. But I think, like, having a military background, I I get to adapt really fast because that's
Mm.
just part of our training. So I actually had to tell myself a lot of times, hey, you need to slow down because like, especially like the way we talk in the military, it's very like direct and all that stuff. And people will think like you're being overbearing and all that stuff. So I had to, like,
Mm.
take a step back and be like, hey, if you truly want to build, a business out of this, build your team around and all that stuff, you need to chill out.
Yeah. Interesting that you say that because I think a lot of business owners, like we talk about the hustle.
Oh
However, if
yeah.
we don't stop and reflect and sort of see the bigger picture, it's very hard for us not to get caught up in all the tiny little bits and pieces.
Definitely.
Yeah. What's sort of been one of the biggest, I guess, personal challenges that you've gone through in not only, obviously moving to a whole new country, you've gone through the military and also building a business. Has there been something that's really stood out that's a personal challenge that you've gone through that has obviously created the resilience that you've needed for today?
Yeah, I think definitely being an introvert. Like I'm not a people person at all. Sometimes I even think I'm antisocial. So like if you have your business or like you're even when you're just starting out and all
Yeah.
that stuff, right? Like you have to get yourself out there. And
Yeah.
that was like a very hard thing for me to do, especially, I'm born and raised in the Philippines. So my accent back then, you could tell by just speaking with me, like my accent. But before it was just super crazy. So,
Mm,
like between the language barrier plus like my personality being an introvert, that was just like a super tough combo to overcome.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. How have you seen marketing change since you've been in business?
I think the vehicle changed, but as far as like, the strategy or like, the basic stuff around it, it's still the same.
Mm,
So, like right now we have a lot of like automation tools, for example. We now use the term funnels, for example, right? For like our sale, like landing pages and all that good stuff. But before it used to just be like a website with just series of pages. We never called it funnels, you know.
yeah.
And definitely AI. AI is just super big right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people are still, I guess, skeptical and maybe a little bit scared of AI. But how has that, like, do you use it and has it changed your business?
Oh yeah, definitely. We use it a lot, especially the main two things we use it for is really content creation and also with
Mm,
our own software for reputation management, where we basically, like let's say you're a client of ours, right? And then we connect it to your profiles, like your business profiles. And then when somebody leaves your review, our AI responds to it automatically using your own tone of voice or your brand's archetype,
yeah.
and we kind of like mirror that same process into creating content. And it's not one of those content that you just get to copy paste it. Like we trained our AI um, models to actually sound like our clients or us, for example. That way when we type something, it's going to create a 30, 60, 90 day worth of content, and it's not sounding robotic or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to somebody who is sitting there and, maybe they're in the military or even thinking about it, but they've also got that passion, like to, build a business. Like, is there room to do both?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing now. And it's really just all about really committing to it because like,
Mm,
saying you want to do it compared to you're really committed to doing it, that's two different things. And like I guess like my biggest thing is like don't get stuck into analysis paralysis where you're basically learning one thing and then you think, oh, I gotta learn this. And then you just keep going about learning, but you're not really applying stuff. So in the end, you might know stuff, but if you don't know how to actually do it or you didn't get to experience it, that's
yeah.
good for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think, like, as business owners, I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, I'm a very creative person, so I'll have like a million ideas come at me all at the same time. But it's also going, well, you also have to keep up with the times as well. Like, things are changing very quickly on how people want to do business, how they want to interact with us, what they consider as sales or products with it. What are some of the processes that you do to be able to keep up with like pretty much all the different areas within your business as well?
I mean, I guess like for me, like just being organized really,
Mm,
like using different software tools to like basically like manage my day to day and all that stuff.
yeah.
Like for example, like you have free apps on your phone, like like your calendar. If you're not jotting down your tasks on there, or like just anything you can think of, you're gonna go by your day thinking, oh, I have to do this, when you really don't, but you have to focus on another thing, right?
Mm.
um and basically just managing your expectations and like really trying to meet them.
Yeah, I love that because I think I think a lot of business owners are perfectionists as well. We're high achievers.
Yeah.
So we sort of like put ourselves up on this pedestal, and it's very hard sometimes to reach the level where we want to be at because we always want more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What has been like what's the one big thing that you love when you work with clients?
I think for me, it's really like seeing the transformation from, being on this side to that side, because a lot of like our clients right now are either somebody who's connected to the military or has been in the military. And basically, like I'm just gonna talk about one of my recent clients that we've worked with. About a year ago when we started, she was still, like she was starting her own salon, right? And it's not really a big salon or anything like that, but the thought of like she's jumping through it, right? But when we started working together, she was working for another salon, and she was just committing some hours onto her own. And basically, we did our own strategy. We applied it to her business and all that stuff. And a year later, she quit that job, and then she's now focused fully on her own business. So seeing those kind of things where, like it allows you to see freedom for them, I think that's like the you know, biggest gift about
Yeah.
entrepreneurship for me.
Yeah. Because it's not also the business journey, it's the personal journey that they go on and the trust and belief
Exactly.
within themselves. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's big. What's been one of the biggest wins that you've had yourself personally?
I think for me, like just really having a better relationship with my wife. Um, and I know like it sounds corny, but we both think alike. Like we're both very goal oriented, and we push ourselves to be better a lot.
Yeah.
Um, because like you hear it sometimes where like your partner kind of like some partners drag you down, but for her, I'm very fortunate that like I never had to worry about that one. Like we push each other, and we just bounce off ideas with each other, and then we just implement it together. So like we're growing this our own businesses, but also our personal relationship is growing as well.
I love that. Because I think sometimes I always feel like sometimes a business can be in front of you and then you're catching up to it, or you're in front like as a personal development and the business is trying to catch up with you. So trying
Exactly.
to find that, sort of like catch up game to whichever way it is,
Yeah.
it's very difficult as well.
It's
And then
frustrating.
it really is. And I always say to people, if you want personal development, start a business. It's the best personal development journey you'll ever go on.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say to somebody right now who, and I know your target audience at the moment is working with people who are either in the military or, have just stepped out of it, but they're still trying to do that adaptation. They're sort of focused on obviously their career within the Navy or what it was, but then they've got this huge big dream with it. What advice would you give to somebody if they're sort of sitting in that turmoil at the moment?
I think make a plan, but also don't sit on that plan.
Yeah,
Like start working on the things. Basically, like, figure out your end goal first,
yeah,
and then make actionable steps to get to
yeah,
that. Because like a lot of the times it's usually you have a goal that eventually just becomes a dream because you're not acting towards it. So now you're
yeah,
just hoping that someday you get there.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that so much. And what is sort of like, how can people work with you? What are some of the things that, if they're struggling within their business, what do you offer that is the solution for them to help them?
So we are basically a full service digital marketing agency, and we focus on organic growth. So the way we work with clients is basically we start off with a website, for example, if you don't have one. If you already have one, we'll take a look at it, and then we'll see what improvements we can make. If there's none, cool, no worries. But let's just say a website, right? Because everybody needs a website, even though there's social media platforms out there. Because at the end of the day, you don't own that platform, but your website is your own web address on the internet. Now, what happens after that? Basically, you need traffic because you need people to discover you, right? So basically, for that, we offer our local SEO services, and we focus more on the reputation management side. This way, you're not only just trying to be seen on Google's first page, but also you're getting that reputation part. You're building your credibility at the same time by getting more reviews. So our software plus our service kind of like help with that. And next step after that is that how do you get to keep those clients, or how do you get those clients from coming back to you, right? Because like that's like the cheapest way for you to keep acquiring double quote new clients is for them to just continually buy from you over and over again, because customer acquisition is very expensive. Um, so for that, we have a solution where we plug in our own loyalty and rewards program. That way you incentivize repeat business or repeat business. And so you just build raving fans around your business. So those are our main three things.
I love that. I love it. And it's really about, I love how you said that, it's actually cheaper to have returning clients because you've already built that like trust no factor with them.
Exactly.
You're bypassing so many steps. And I think so many people go, oh, I need new clients. I'm like, well, what about the ones you've already have? Are you nurturing them? Are you loving on them as much as you
Exactly.
possibly can? Because if they've worked with you once, more than likely they're going to come back with you again.
I love that.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I just like I love what you're doing. I love that you're showing people that A, you can be multi-passionate, but also too that you can build something and make it meaningful and help other people along the way. So thank you so much for being here and sharing with what you do with our audience. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Christine.
No, my pleasure. Before you go, I've got 5 quick random questions that we're going to ask you. It's just a little bit of fun, and so our audience can get to know you a little bit on a personal level. Are you a coffee or a tea person in the morning?
Tea.
Tea. Oh, okay. I wouldn't expected that, but that's okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. My dog knows not to even talk to me. So she knows not even to ask me before I've had coffee. So that's okay.
Oh wow.
If you've got some spare time, would you prefer to read a book or to watch a movie?
I think that depends on the mood, but definitely more on the book side.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like that. Yeah. Are you using AI though, like now with helping you to read the books, like asking for the summary?
Um, right now it depends on what book.
Yeah.
Because like the way I read books, for example, like let's just say it's about business, money, motivation, or whatever, right? I don't actually read the entire thing. What I do is like I look at the table of contents and then I just pick which ones I really want to learn about.
Oh,
So, at that point, like I don't think I need AI for that just because I want the full context.
yeah.
So I never really went like cover to cover with a book because like
Mm.
it's gonna be a waste of time for me to do that.
Oh, I like that idea. That's a really good suggestion. I like that. If you could go on your dream destination, would you prefer to travel by boat or by plane?
By boat.
By boat.
I'm
I
an,
was gonna
I'm
say,
I'm
of course,
Navy.
like it's like
I'm Navy.
um if you could have an amazing dinner party and you're allowed to invite anybody from the past or the present, like one person, who would you invite?
Definitely. I think my grandma for me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And how would you describe yourself in one word?
Um, I think relentless.
Oh, yes, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yes, I definitely get that from you. Definitely. So, RJ, thank you so RG, sorry. For being here today. Really do appreciate it. We're going to pop all the links below how people can reach out to you. And I'm really looking forward to, I'd love to have you back on the show again. I think there's so much that we can uncover for people as well.
Awesome. Glad to
Thank
be back.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who has watched this episode today. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.